The drapery for the wishing dress is comprised of 4 main elements: an apron in the front, 2 side drapes, and a waterfall drape in the back that is technically 2 pieces. These pieces are mostly circles, and it was quite difficult for me to figure out what the flat shape of it would be without seeing it on a dress. The wishing dress drapes were very tricky for me to cut or even measure or figure out perspective of. So what I ended up doing was measuring on the skirt itself and figuring out from there what sort of measurements I would need. And I'll go over the measurements a bit later in the video. But mostly what I did was I made a quarter circle with a bit cut out so that I could fit it into the skirt. I made 2 half circles for the waterfall drape, and then a oblong sort of shape that kind of resembled a circle but wasn't quite a circle, because the side drapes have a straight edge to them. So that was what I did. And I used pretty much the scrap fabric that I had left over from cutting the circle skirt part of the dress and sleeves so that I had no waste of fabric. The drapery are also trimmed with lace, so I had to cut the lace and sew it on as well. And yeah. Unfortunately, this video is going to mostly just be a montage of updates because my camera had a very low amount of battery and I kept forgetting to charge it, so I wasn't filming any of my sewing. So instead, you're just going to get a whole bunch of updates as you see the progress of this drapery come together. Very, very slowly. Because I got sick a couple times. And then there was a day when I was covered in mosquito bites and could not actually touch anything because it made the bites itch more. So yeah, there were a lot of things that got in the way of me actually finishing this drapery on time for this video to be up last Monday. And consequently, it also didn't go up yesterday either. The aim is to get this video up on Tuesday. And if it works, that is great. We will see though. So, in this clip, you're gonna see me cutting all my pieces out. And I'm measuring the different lengths, and I've got my book with the measurements beside me so that I can measure correctly. And so I just measure them with the measuring tape, and then I mark them out with tailor's chalk, and then I cut a mirror section if I need a second piece. And then I decided to also cut some out of velvet, so it would look pretty. Yeah, so that's what you see in this clip, and it is coming close to summer by this point where I am, so I am wearing shorts because it is hot. It was also strange to be cutting these fabric pieces out because usually I have my dog there to sit on the fabric and therefore stop me from cutting. But as you know, she had passed away a few months ago, and therefore no more Zoe, so it was kind of sad, but it's okay. It's fine. Yeah. Okay, I've talked enough now. I'll leave it to me from the past to just give you updates now. This is the waterfall piece, and I think I've got it figured out. It's mathematically, yeah. Only thing is you can see the wrong side of the fabric here, so I might have to cut 2 more of these, and I might cut them out of the velvet just so it matches even more. But yeah, otherwise this is the waterfall, these are the side drapes, this is the apron that's going to be gathered up like this, so that you end up with this sort of idea. I'll put the better quality picture in the edit. But yeah, waterfall drapes. Okay, so update, the side drapes are too short. Like, not short, they're not wide enough. They're too narrow. So they only go to here, about halfway. And so, yeah, I will need to redo that. So what I did is I have done some measuring of the skirt, and what I've got is roughly 40 centimeter length is right, but somewhere between maybe 40 centimeters on the top and gather in 15 centimeters and then have it 25 centimeters at the bottom. So it still has the shape, but it will just be wider. I hope that works. I'll check in with you again. Okay, so checking in, we have drapery pieces here. We've got the waterfall piece, so it's the wishing dress fabric and it's lined with the velvet. So it looks really nice and will look really pretty when I actually fold it into the waterfall. Then we've got, this is the apron, still needs to be gathered up, which I'll do tomorrow, because not today. And then we've got the 2 side drapes. So I did them in the normal fabric, and then I backed it with some just plain cotton that I have. I used it for other things. I've got a lot of this cotton, so I made sure I used it. So yeah, I'm just going to press these, and then I can top stitch it tomorrow, and then just gather in this bit here, just a little bit to give it that shape. And then I can give it a waistband and consider trimming it. I might need to at least trim the waterfall drape, because I don't know how well it's going to behave after it's been draped. Like whether I can trim it like while it's draped, or whether I actually need to trim it first. So that'll be one I have to figure out later. But just thought I would check in with this. We're going well. This video is not going up on Monday, but it'll be up this week. So I decided I would put a backing on the apron as well, just so that it's got a nice finished edge to trim. So this is the backing. I found some buttons that I thought would be really nice for the bodice, like to close it up. They look purple in the camera, but they're actually blue. But I've only got 6 of them, and I don't think they're big enough. So I can either go out and see if I can find more of this type, or go out and get some completely new buttons, or I could use these ones, which are just plain buttons, but they're also blue. But I would really prefer to use shank buttons, because the Love Never Dies dresses were also made with shank buttons, and I just prefer those. So we'll have to see how that is, but that's something for later, because we're still working on the drapes. I also put some trimmings onto the side drapes, so I've trimmed it. It looks pretty much like how it's supposed to, so that's good. This is machine sewn. The rest of the drapes I will probably hand sew, except for the apron one, because that's basically the same as this and will be machine sewn too. So yeah, we've got our side drapes trimmed, so then we just need to gather them, and then they can go onto the skirt. It's proportionate, that's good. So yeah, so we will finish trimming all the drapery, and then we will put these onto a waistband after doing all the gathers, of course, and figuring out the waterfall thing. And then we will put them onto a waistband, and we will have our drape, and hopefully it looks good. It worked. I had to end up pleating it instead because the fabric was too thick to gather. But yes, some nice pleating here, and then some pleating in the back here as well on the side drape. And then we've got the waterfall drape as well. Looks so pretty and beautiful. So I will just make a waistband tomorrow. Right now it is Tuesday night. I will make a waistband tomorrow and pop everything onto that waistband, make a fastening, and then it'll be done. And then the video can go up on Thursday. It is now Sunday. Almost have the drape done. I just have one more thing. I want to do this bow because my waterfall drape is a little crooked because of how I had to do the closure. So I want to make the bow to cover it. And because most of the drapery has been following Amy Manford's design, I want to do the bow. So I've done some measurements and I think the bow is about 7.5 centimeters wide and by like 60 centimeters long, and then you fold that up and make it into a bow. And then the bit in the middle of the bow will be 7.5 by about 8 maybe, I'm not sure, I'll check that. And so for that I will make sure I have enough of this lace and this ribbon. I should have enough of this ribbon, I'm not sure about this lace, but I'm hoping I will have enough to make the bow. And then I can get my drapery done. And then I'll be done. Hopefully. It has taken me almost 2 weeks and I really do want to get this video up by this week. Probably not Monday because I don't think I'll be able to do the whole bow, trim it and have it ready by tonight to edit, but if I can at least get the video up by sometime this week, it'll be great. Because like I've spent so long working on this and I've kept you guys waiting for so long. I don't want you guys to have to wait anymore. So yeah, I also need to actually sew this trim onto the skirt, which I haven't done yet. And also all the pins are backwards, so I need to redo those so that I can actually sew it. But other than that, this is looking good. It is looking very much like the wishing dress, which is good because that's the goal. Yeah, and then I can take a little break until I can get to Fitzroy to get the boning so I can make the bodice. For the bodice, I want to kind of bring in elements from Anna O'Byrne's bodice because she's the other Australian Christine that I like. So she's got this ribbon trim as well, the blue and white, so I will need to buy more of this ribbon. And then she's got some trim along the neckline and around the edge of the collar. And I think there might be a little bit of trim on the sides of the jacket part where the velvet is. And then there's a little bow in the middle of the collar. I need more pictures of Anna in the wishing dress. I will endeavour to find more pictures. But we are almost done. Almost there. And the drapery is finished. It took like 2 weeks, but it's finally finished. It is Monday. This video was supposed to go up today, but it's fine. I'll edit it and it'll go up tomorrow. But yeah, we've got the drapery done. I put the box pleated ruffle in the bottom to mimic Amy Manford's dress, also because the apron just seemed a bit too short, so I put that in. The apron is tacked up to the side drape so it doesn't go out of shape. We've got the side drapes that go all along here. They are pleated up here so that they have that sort of swoop. And then we've got the waterfall drapery, which is also just tacked to the side drapes, and it's got a nice bow on the top. And then the bow is just going to, so I've done it so that the skirt ties up with a ribbon, and then the bow is just going to be like hooked onto the back of the waistband to cover the ribbon up, and then that's the side drape. So, got all the drapery done, finally. It was a lot of work. But it looks so good against the skirt. And I'm so happy with how it turned out. I'm also really sorry I didn't record any of the actual sewing for this. It was just very complex and a lot of it was hand sewing, so yeah. Also, this camera is like half full of battery, so yeah. But yeah, we've got all this, the ribbon, which I still have some of this lace left, which is really good. I should hopefully have enough to trim the edge of the bodice here, like it's like Anna O'Byrne's one was. It's trimmed along the side here and then got tassels down this way. I hope I have enough of that lace. If not, I can always just go back and get more. But I'm very proud of the box pleated ruffle. It seems to be sitting nicely, which is very good. And so yeah, drapery is all done. With that, the skirt is finished, except for, you know, sewing this ribbon that I've pinned. Which I'll do off camera, and the next time you see the skirt it will be done. So next up would be the bodice, which I can't do until I get boning, so I will work on that. Until then, this project will be on hold for a bit. I might record the process of sewing my mum an apron for Christmas. If you're interested in that, you let me know. I also need to get back to work on that Love Never Dies analysis, but yeah, for now, this video is now done. And I can post it. So, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe so that you get notified when the next part of this project comes up. Like the video. Thank you for the 100 odd views on just the base skirt. That was shocking. But thanks. It would be great if those 100 of you subscribe. But yeah. So thanks again. I will see you next week with whatever video I decide to post. Bye.